So I just got done talking to my boy. He swung by my apartment, and we ended up just having like a really good conversation, just talking about life, talking about Jesus, and just talking about where we want to be in life. And I find it so funny because I I was telling him that three, I'd argue 4 years ago, I was in a completely different place in my life compared to where I am now. And I was telling him that where I'm at now, the reason why I know I was lost compared to where I'm at now is because it wasn't until that I found where I needed to be to realize that I was lost. And that can be really difficult because I didn't know I was lost. Sometimes you don't know you're lost until you're found. That's the simplest way to put it, because I remember 4 years ago that I was going out to parties, I was doing things with different women, I was around the wrong people with the wrong mindset. And it wasn't until I was exposed as well as indulged into better opportunities that allowed me to find my way. And that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. Because sometimes when you're lost, you don't realize you're lost until you're found. You don't realize the habits that you have. You don't realize the environment you're in. You don't realize the people that you're around are bad for you until you're exposed to better or seek better. And that's what it's probably going to take. That's what it will probably take for most of you. It's not going to take self-reflection. It's not going to take mistakes. It's going to take you seeking for what you want to find. And it isn't until you are found is when that you realize that you were lost. And it's interesting because when you're in that lost period, you don't realize you're lost. It's a facade. It's an illusion that you think in which everything is okay, everything is fine. But until you're exposed to different avenues, everything is going to seem weird, crazy, or just different. Like, I remember when I told one of my boys, like, I couldn't be friends with you anymore. I remember when I told him, I was like, bro, like, I'm reading books now. He's like, bro, that's weird. I was like, I know! Like, I remember telling him that. I remember laughing about it. And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't think where we're at in each other's lives and where we want to be, I just don't think we're in the right direction. And it's not that I don't care about you. It's just I don't think that us being friends anymore is going to be the best. And I don't say that to be rude, but I say that because I would hate to just cut you off and you not know why I cut you off. That would be a burden that I would hate for me to bear. And you don't deserve that. And that's not an easy conversation to have, but I will tell you that sometimes that's what it takes. And everything will be different. It will be weird. It will be uncomfortable. But until you give it a chance, you give it a shot. Once you finally indulge in it, because you realize this is better than what was going on, the peace that you'll have is unfathomable. And I'm blessed. That's all I can say. I am blessed to be in a position to where I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't go out and party. I don't mess around with females. I'm blessed. But I'm blessed because of the past that I had. I'm blessed because of what I was exposed to. I'm blessed because I sought out more than what I was dealt. I didn't become content in which the environment or the situation that I was in. I wanted better. I sought out better. And that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. You have to look for better. And if better isn't around you, then become isolated, become cut off until you find better. Because it isn't until you find better that you realize you've been found. I'll tell you a story that I'm not proud of. But I remember my perception on living the party life, messing around with other women, bashing women as if like they held no value, and my perception on how I looked upon people who didn't have a certain status, I thought that's what it was for life, and some people understood it, some people didn't. That mindset was garbage. And I'm not proud of the old things I did. I'm not proud of the people that I embarrassed. I'm not proud of the people I hurt. I'm not proud of it at all. But it's because of those deceitful and disgusting times that I can now say that they were deceitful and disgusting times. So don't be afraid of being the black sheep. Let me rephrase. Don't be afraid of being the white sheep out of the black herd. Don't be afraid of being the one that stands out that no one accepts. Because in a world that we live in, we're so connected that I can guarantee that if you stand out within one group, you'll be accepted in another. I truly believe that. I truly believe that, especially as someone who's grown up always being the outlier. From birth, I was the outlier. I'm a mixed kid. I'm half black and half white. Most people in the early 2000s, biracial couples weren't accepted. And the idea of biracial children wasn't even a concept. Like, I know what it's like to not be accepted before you're even born in this earth. I know what it's like to not be accepted based upon the background in which you have, and the color of your skin doesn't perceive a certain way, so you can't be what you say you are. Like, I understand that. I get it. But don't let those labels, those people, those critics define who you are and who you want to be, because at the end of the day, nobody knows what God put on this planet until it's clear. And one of two things will happen. Either people will accept it or people won't. That's how life is. That's how it's always been. It's more than likely how it always will be. So how do you do it? How do you escape? How do you be comfortable with being an outlier? How do you become comfortable with people not liking you? How do you become comfortable with leaving the people that you thought were good for you and were going to be the people that you had for the rest of your life. And I will say that you have to be willing to accept that, for one, you are different, and the morals and ideals that you have are different compared to them, but that doesn't make them evil. That just means you were put here differently and have a different idea based upon where you want to be in life compared to where they are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just called growing as a human. And it's okay. It is okay. Because this is what I will tell you. You can always make more friends, but you can never make more time. And time wasted upon friends that are no good for you will never be good time. So be careful. And be very reflective. I will easily say you will have a lot more peace with dealing with yourself against the world than dealing with the world and being at war with yourself. I think Nipsey Hussle said it best. I think Nipsey Hussle said that. He said, would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or would you rather be at peace with yourself and at war with the world? I'll take the second one every time. At least by myself, I have Jesus Christ. So, this one's going to be kind of a little bit short, but last and final thing I'll say is figuring out who you are will always be a risk. It'll always be a risk. I didn't know I was going to start doing YouTube videos like this. I didn't know I was going to become passionate about learning languages in different cultures. I didn't know that I was going to start a business about fitness, but not just focus on fitness, about the gap in which people need to focus on in order to be fit. I never thought that I'd get to a place where I'd understand that those would be things that I would enjoy until I took the risk. Now I can confidently say to you these things because I spent a good time by myself, or I spend time by myself understanding myself in order to figure out who I am and what I want to do in this life. And because of that, I'm at peace. And I thank nothing but God for it all. Thank nothing but God for it. So don't be afraid to take the risk, because it can sometimes be that one risk that changes your life, but also the one that points you in the direction in which you can be found.